creativity. We get free, be me, work it effortlessly. Do what you love and then allow the prosperity. You got this. Make good, make it your own. You know you got the power in your mind, heart, body, and soul to grow dreams, grow faith, grow you. Create authentically in the garden of good. Live, and love. In a God gonna dig big and trust. In a God gonna create, elevate, celebrate, and love. To the garden. Love. I have a little sticker right here next to the camera that says love. Love, love, love. Love and light to you tonight. Welcome to the Garden of Good. I'm Amy Steinberg. I'm so very delighted to be here with you this evening. I have just come off the road of 8 hours, 9 hours really, because you need to stop, So I am really high on brain chemicals, just natural brain chemicals from driving so much. So it's going to be a really fun night. These nights are fun, right? When I race in and do everything and have a lot of energy and stories to tell and things to do. So welcome to the Garden of Good. This week, the topic is books, and I could not be more nerdy. My inner nerd could not be more excited of this topic. I love a book. Books are the best. And so I can't wait to dive into that tonight. I've got some really fun exercises for us. And why we gather here, the whole point of the Garden of Good is we're here to nourish creativity and connection with contemplative play. We make good by showing up honestly and creating together. We're just creating, right? We are in the middle of the Mind Quarter. There are 4 quarters. It's a year-long program using my book as a guide. This is the second year I've been doing it. This is the book. Make Good, Cultivating Joy with Creativity, 44 prompts. And we are in the middle of the mind. Well, we just kind of are at the beginning of the Mind Quarter. So it's a great time to jump in. Anytime's a great time to jump in. It's great to come every week. It's great to come once in a while. It's fabulous. We are interested in, if you are coming in on the regular, to kind of pick a root and a fruit, something on the inside that you're working on for every quarter and something on the outside that manifests from that work. And I will share mine up top. My root for this Mind Quarter is order, trying to get things in order in my mind, in my home, in my life. I'm trying to create some order. The fruits are many. We'll discuss those later. Important. Number 1, very important. Kindness first. Be very gentle with yourself. When we're creating, especially in a childlike improvisational way, the inner critic will come out and you'll compare your doodle to another person's doodle or your creativity. Don't do it. Or if you do, just be kind to your critic. Just be like, okay, I see you. I see that you judge me. That's nice. You're welcome here. Just open yourself, really, because that's where the joy is, right? When we resist, what we resist persists. So, yeah. Gardener's choice, you get to do whatever you want. Of course, the camera's optional and it's confidential. Now, I always like to begin with a song, and I write a song for you every week, a new song every week, just to get us in the vibe, right? And we're talking today about our story, about the book of our life. The book of life. We're talking about books, and we're going to talk about what if we wrote our own book about our life? Does our life matter? What is our story? Does our story matter? Does your story matter? It does. And then I was thinking today, well, I'll tell a little bit more about that later, but I think I've told you guys that I've started reading again, like the past few years. So we're going to talk about that. This is my story. It's mine to create. This is my story. You may relate. This is my story. It took what it took. I write my story. I'm an open book. Yeah, this is my story. Come on. It's mine to create. Sing it with me. This is my story. You may relate. This is my story. It took what it took. Well, I write my my story. I'm an open book. From the top, this is my story. Hey, it's mine to create. This is my story. You may relate. This is my story. It took what it took. I write my story. I'm an open book. I'm an open book. I'm an open book. I'm an open, come on, come on, come on. I'm an open book. I'm an open book. I got nothing to hide. I'm gonna shine my light. I'm an open book. From the top, one more time. Say, this is my story. It's mine to create. This is my story. You may relate. Oh, this is my story. It took what it took. I write my story. I'm an open book. So, I'm an open book. What if you were? What if you were an open book? I'm an open book. What if you had nothing to hide? I'm an open book. Take a deep breath. It feels good to be kind of exposed, doesn't it? Doesn't it kind of feel good to be kind of exposed?
This is my story. I'm an open book. I'm not afraid to reveal the truth of me. The truth of me is that I'm a unique expression of creative energy that is living possibility through my eyes, ears, heart, and soul. My mind is open like a book, ready to be explored, expressed, and enjoyed. Thank you, life, for living as me. Now, please join me. This is my story. I'm an open book. I'm not afraid to reveal the truth of me. The truth of me is that I'm a unique expression of creative energy that is a living possibility through my eyes, ears, heart, and soul. My mind is open like a book, ready to be explored, expressed, and enjoyed. Thank you, life, for living as me.
As we break out our gratitude. We're on page, if you have my book, we're on page 101. If you don't have the book, that's fine. You can write it on a piece of paper. Or you can just list it in your head. But we're on this topic of books. But we're going to start with gratitude. So it says here, list the books that you're most grateful to have read. To move on to the book, all year I've been reading these passages because they're so short. The Quantum Kitty is another in the Madame Le Grand Chaton series. My inner kitty is a metaphysician and a big reader. There she is. My inner black pussycat. Books. I love a book. A collection of paper pages bound together in union. Reading is a respite that brings so much good. Books are the place where creative thought comes to life right in front of us. A particular combo of words put together in order to inspire, tell a story, teach. I love to read fiction, nonfiction, religious text, poetry. I just love words. Don't you? I loved when my dad would read me to sleep. I had my favorites. One was about a money tree, and another was about a bear that tried on a bunch of different hats, seeking the perfect hat. One of my favorite books is The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. It's a spiritual journey, and it speaks to the spiral nature of life, the obstacles we come upon, and the ultimate triumph of the hero. I had a great idea about a series of books, but I couldn't find an agent, so I quit. It's okay. It's okay to start writing a book and not finish it. It's okay to start reading a book and not finish it. It's okay to put a book down, to pick up a new one. This is the same for the book of our life. If we want to write a new story, we can begin at any time. What does the book of your life feel like today? Write the first page in the book of your life. Where would you begin? Now, we're not going to do that. We're going to do something else because I always do something else. So, what we're going to do first, for our very first doodle, is we're going to create a map of the story of our life, because we're going to sort of lean into the idea of writing your own memoir. Okay. A lot of people would say, like, well, why is my life important? Like, why would somebody want to read about Lisa Petrich? Like, why? What, and we get real small about it, right? We think, well, I'm not anybody. But I will tell you, this past year, I read a book called Stoner. It's not about marijuana. It's about a man, and his last name is Stoner. That's just his name. And he's a normal guy. He's a guy who actually got into education, funny enough, Lisa. And it was my favorite read of last year. And it was about a life, because every life is extraordinary. And that's the damn truth. And you are extraordinary. And I will bet you good money that you have some really good stories to tell. Mm-hmm. And we're all creative. So, but I think it can be hard to think, well, if I want to write a memoir, where do I start? How do I create the story of me? You know what I mean? It's like, well, I was born on, like, you don't want to, right? How do you do it? So I thought, well, a story, a wonderful way to sort of try to capture a story is to write a map of that story. So we are going to create a map of your story, and I'm going to explain what this is. Okay. Mm-hmm. I'm going to guide you through it step by step. So in the middle of your page, this could be in your book. If you want to draw it in your book. I think I might draw it again in my book here, actually, because I've been really excited about using my book. But remember, if you're using your book, to put a big, thick piece of paper between the place that you're going to draw, especially if you're drawing with markers, and your gratitude page, so that you don't, but you'd want to draw this on page 99.
99. Now, okay.
Yes. Now, in the center of your map is you. It's the home of your soul. It's the center of you. It's the part of you that is infinite, unnameable, perfect. And in my first little map, I made a little palm tree there. Because for me, being down in Florida this past week, like, Florida is where I grew up. Like, it feels like home to me. Florida feels like home to me, even though, like, I hate that that's the truth. Florida's pretty awful in a lot of ways. But you could also put, like, just a little home. Like, I made a little home. And that's you. This is your story. This is your story, right? Right there in the center. Okay. Now, whatever it could be for you, it could be a star, it could be a heart. It just represents the center of your story, you. Now, in the bottom left-hand corner, you're going to make a red star. And that star, underneath it, you're going to write the word either romance or relationships. And this is the part of your map that has to do with all the love that you've had in your life, your relationships. It could be romance, it could be relationships. I did romance. I chose romance because, I'm a lover.
Where is that again?
On the bottom left, you're going to put a red star, and that's for romance. Okay?
Does it matter if I put it on the right?
Nope, doesn't. Right? Doesn't matter. Okay. It's your map. It's your map. Doesn't matter.
Okay.
Just these are guides, right? Yes. On the top left, you're going to put a blue star. And we're going to call that challenges. We're going to just call it challenges. So bottom left, romance, red, top right, blue, challenges, right? See it? Simple. Top left. Top right, I use purple, and it's dreams. So I'm using a star. If you want to use a heart, if you want to use a swirl, you don't have to use a star, but it's just the starting point for the map, right? Of this particular aspect of you. And then I picked for the
Notebook.
first. Should I slow down? Am I going too fast? No? Okay. So I think it might be because I asked y'all to unmute and then I didn't mute you again. So I'll mute you.
What was the last one you just gave us?
On the top right, the purple is dreams. Okay. And then the bottom right is orange and it's creativity. Okay. I'm going to tell you, well, I'll just guide you through it. I'll give you another minute to have all of that prepared. Okay. So you've got your top left challenges, your top right dreams. This is all pretty random. Like everything in my book, it's random, inspired, intuitive, creative. This is all what the Garden of Good is about. It's about just letting yourself fucking free, and just doing something. It doesn't have to be great or grand. It's just creative and positive. So,
What's orange? What's orange?
orange is creativity,
Okay.
which is the color of the second chakra, which is the womb, right? Creativity. So we're going to start, and I'm going to start with that bottom left with that romance. And with that red marker that I made, that red star, I am just going to think about the great loves in my life. And for every love, I'm going to make a loop. And that line is going to land. Here, I'll show you. I'll just make an example. I'm not going to really think about the loves. I'm just going to make the line for you. It's going to land home. Right?
Mm.
So take a moment and think about all the different loves. Doesn't have to be romance, could be animals or friends. And when you've made your line, put your hand up or something so I know how I'm doing with time. Okay. Okay. All right, now let's go to the top right. Let's go to dreams. And for dreams, for some reason, because my dreams have always been very clear. They've changed many times though. So think about when you were a kid, what you wanted to be, and make a line. And then when that changed into something else, make another line. And changed and changed and changed and changed and make your way home. However many times you changed whatever your occupation was or what you dreamt about. For instance, for me, when I was a kid, I wanted to be a movie star. And then I wanted to be a musical theater actor. Then I wanted to be a rock star. Then I wanted to be a minister, right? Just the different iterations of dreams that you've had, whether they've come true or not. And now we're going to go. Are you still working on that? Okay. Give you another minute. Some of you are quicker than others and probably like me, like zip, zap, zoop, zap, pop. Yeah, I'll take a minute here. No rush. Next one we're going to go to, though, if you're already, done, is we're going to do challenges. So maybe you could think about, and for this one, I just it just was wavy. You know what I mean? It's just like whenever I was making the line and I was thinking, oh, this is when I was 8, we moved. That was challenging. And then maybe my first heartbreak was challenging, right? Like just whatever pops into your mind when you think of big challenges, losses, when my father passed, whatever it is, but land home, right? Think about those challenges, make a loop or a hump or something for every challenge you can brainstorm. This doesn't have to be pretty. This is sort of a winding, the long and winding roads of our life. Beautiful, extraordinary life. And then finally, for your creativity, think back to when you were a kid. And for this one, I just did long sweeping lines what was I interested in creatively? You know, like for instance, when I was a kid, I was really interested in crayons. Try to tap in, think back. What were you interested when you were little? And then as you grew up, I know for me, right, piano became something that I became interested for creative expression. What are all the different creative expressions? You might have done macrame or knitting. You might have had a phase where you did certain kind of painting or, think of your creative journey. And make those little lines around and then again landing in the center. Aren't you interesting? Think of all that you have done and been and seen and heard and experienced and loved and lost. You are love's life. So it should look something like this now, right? Now, what I found interesting when I was doing this, you guys, this is not a beautiful Picasso piece of art, right? This is just creative expression. What I thought was interesting is how they crossed over each other, right? How interesting is that? That, maybe during this, that was happening at the same time. That I was going through the challenges, but I was also learning music. But I was, had my first girlfriend and I was also, exploring doing theater again, whatever. These things that sort of naturally cross over. So using your intuition, don't think too hard about it. I want you to write along each line. For instance, like if we go along my purple line, I said, it's what I told you. I said, this is where I started up here, right? Movie star, musical theater, rock star, minister, artist, right? These are like the little dreams. And I just kind of wrote words. Then when I went to my love line, I wrote Adam, Wayne, Brad. These are the loves of my life, right? Write down the loves of your life. I don't know if you've had as many as I have, but I've had a few. AJ is right there near my home here. And same thing with each line. Take a moment to write down the things that came to your mind as you were doing this.
I'm in a class online, so I can't call.
This is like the beautiful map of you and different identities you've had, different ways you've loved, things you've created, things that you've gotten through. And the final thing I want you to do, which you can continue doing this however, much you want to do through my little talk. I'm going to give a little talk that I wrote for you. High on a long drive. But the last thing I did was I filled in anywhere it overlapped. Do you see what I mean? Like anytime something overlapped, I filled it in. And I just that was a way to see how things intersect. It was just an interesting, again, this is very like intuitive. You don't want to reason this thing out. This is more like notice the interesting synchronicities that might appear as things overlap other things, and let your brain be a little loose and creative with this. And my talk today is called I Give You Permission, because I think the idea of writing your story is like, there is a sense like am I good enough? Is my story interesting enough? Would anybody want to hear my story? Right? Well, I give you permission to be like totally amazing and worth exploring, right? Tonight. I give you permission to be, a little bit about you. This is the thing. Like I was in recovery for a really long time. I still consider myself a 12-stepper, but one of the things that is sort of beat into you when you go to AA and NA and all these recovery programs is don't be selfish. Don't be self-centered. Don't be selfish. Don't be self-centered. So anytime I'm talking about myself, I'm just like, oh, am I being too selfish? But guess what? I just finished a memoir, listening to a memoir, and it was so fucking good. It was so inspiring. It made me feel and notice once again, just like the book Stoner did, made me notice once again how your story really does matter. You really do. And it's important for you to tell it. So anyway, I go through seasons. There are stretches of my life where I step away from things. I'll turn off the radio for like years. I won't read for years. I'll just be in quiet. Sometimes that's if I'm touring heavily, this is the past really. Cause right now something I've picked up a book again. Like I picked up a book. it felt like I was reconnecting with an old friend, and now I'm like reading, so I am curious to know, by show of hands, who here is readers? Where are my readers? Like who actually is always like reading a book? Anybody? Yeah. No, not calling anybody out or anything. I just wanted to put it out there. And you may have been a reader at one time in your life, right? And then but you're not anymore, right? Or there's a stack on the bed or something. Things seems like a good idea, but then you don't do it. I would read a lot for a while and then not at all. But then something calls you back. There's no really one way to be a reader, but there is something really powerful about returning to it. Because a book is never just a book. It's a doorway. It's a calling. It's calling you something. It's calling you somewhere. And I know for me, my early reading life was wild. Like I started learning about sex and drugs and, books like My Name is Alice, books like Dear God, It's Me, Judy Blume books and stuff like that, right? Human experiences, travel, messy human life, reading about people living out loud, taking risks, making mistakes, chasing something, and it was like, oh, like this is allowed. So books gave me permission. So I would like to give you permission. I give you permission. Books are always planting seeds, ideas, questions, awareness that grow over time into something deeper, something more conscious, something intentional. And I read 2 memoirs recently that were very dark, but exceptional. One is called I'm Glad My Mother Died. I can't recommend it enough. It was fucking an amazing book. It was just an amazing book. It was sad, very sad, but excellent. And then I'm just finished Famesick, which if you guys watched Girls in the Girls was an HBO show. This is Lena Dunham's story, Famesick. Her new memoir was so good. It was so good. And it's kind of like it gives you permission to show up and say what needs to be said. And they make you, I don't know, like there's something about it that really, it's more than information when you're reading. It's participation. Like you start to get access to your imagination as you're listening and reading and hearing new words. And I love when I have to look up a word for a book. And I went back and I was like, what was the first book? Like what was considered the first book? It's something in like Sumeria, like Mesopotamia. but first it was markings, and then it was scrolls, and eventually things were, bound together, and everything changed when the printing press was created. And all of a sudden, like, ideas could travel and stories could spread and wisdom could move and access became like unimaginable access to possibility. Reading is just, I'm really into it right now. So I was really excited to get this books. And I wish I could read more, but it's just so good for the brain. It's so good. When you read, your brain lights up. Language, imagery, emotion, sensation. It all begins to move, and you read about a place and your mind starts to travel there, and you read about a feeling and your heart will recognize it. You read about someone else's life, but something else in you says, I know that. It's like this full-bodied experience. And from a New Thought perspective, this becomes incredibly powerful, because if we take into mind, whatever we take into our mind becomes a part of our creative field. And I love what Emerson said: the mind, once stretched by a new idea, never returns to its original dimensions. Or if you are an Amy Steinberg fan, once you know where your freedom lies, you can't go back and close your eyes, right? So a book can stretch you into a new territory. I feel like I'm rambling a little bit about this, but books have this amazing way of bringing us inward, turning us inward, and aligning us. And so I also wonder, by a show of hands, have you ever considered, anyway, why does my story matter? Why does my story matter? Why? Well, why does any story matter? Stories connect us when we expose ourselves. And then something I've noticed is that the right book will arrive at the right time. Person will present you with that book, right? Remember the first time somebody gave you a Louise Hay book? Change your thinking, life changing. You'll get it when you need it. You'll get it, will show up. If you want to write something, are you reading anything that inspires you? So yeah, that was a question that I had for you, because if you are considering writing something, you might want to start reading stuff that, that's kind of in the same genre. But something that I wanted to really presence again, and I said it already once when I read out of my book, but when I started writing, I watched Book Talk, which is basically book reviews on TikTok. And I learned the term DNF. I DNF'd it. That's what people say. I DNF'd it, which means did not finish. And I love that, because so often I have felt in the past like, oh, I got to finish this. I got to finish this. There's something so great about not finishing a book, not finishing a movie that sucks, walking out. I've walked out of movies like twice in my life, when it was just like, I am not willing to waste an hour of my life on this. Like, it's terrible, and that's kind of like the story of your life. You could be like, I don't like this story anymore. I can change it. I can change the story of my life. And so it motherfather is. So that was my little tiny teeny talk. Second creative exercise, and you can write this in your book. If you're using your book, you can write it on page 98. It says start your story. So you could use that page if you're filling up your book. And the first thing you're going to do is you're going to pick the chapter. You're going to pick the title of your memoir. What is the title of your memoir? Take a moment. Take a moment. I appreciate you. I hope that tonight has inspired you to pick up a book maybe start writing something if you want to. I hope that you look at books this week and think about them. And here's some home play for you. Start a new book. Start reading a new book. Explore the idea of writing a book and keep an eye on that route, whatever your route is picked. I also like to thank you all for giving to the garden if you can. I want to give a shout out to Anne. I got a card in the mail, and to Kat, I got a box in the mail of great sequins and stuff like that. And I'm grateful for everything that comes in toward the garden because it's my joy.
So I invite you to go ahead and settle in however you like to sit or rest, and just allow your body to soften a little. Let your breath come in naturally and gently release. No effort, just a quiet arriving. And as you sit here, I want to invite you to imagine that you are holding a book. Not just any book, your book. The book of your life. Feel it in your hands, the weight of it, the texture of the cover. Maybe it's worn and well-loved. Maybe it's brand new. Maybe it's colorful. Maybe it's simple. There's no right way for it to appear. Just notice. This is yours. And now slowly, gently begin to open it. As the pages fall open, notice that this book is alive. It isn't fixed. It isn't finished. It is still being written. Each page holds moments, memories, experiences, chapters of laughter, chapters of learning, chapters of becoming. And just for a moment, allow yourself to flip through a few pages. Not to analyze, just to notice the richness of a life lived, the colors, the characters, the changes, the growth. And now gently come to this page, this moment, right here. This is where the pen is in your hand. This is where the story is being written now. Feel that for a moment. You are not just the reader of your life. You are the writer. Each thought, a sentence. Each choice, a paragraph. Each day, a page. And there is a quiet freedom here, a spaciousness. You get to choose the tone, the energy, the feeling you bring to this page. And now imagine something even more beautiful. As you sit here reading your own life, you are also being read. Life itself, awareness itself, is experiencing you as a story, a living, breathing expression of creativity, of curiosity, of becoming. So you are the reader, the writer, and the book itself, all at once. Just rest in that for a moment. No pressure, just presence. And maybe gently You allow a simple intention to arise. What would you love this next page to feel like? Not what it needs to say, but how it wants to feel. Light, open, curious, creative, alive. Let that feeling settle into you now, like ink touching the page. And as we begin to come back, just take a soft breath in and a gentle breath out, knowing that the book is always with you and this page is yours to live. And when you're ready, you can slowly open your eyes.
But thank you so much for coming tonight. I look forward to seeing you next week. And I don't know what else is going on. Just keep your eye on the Facebook page because some other stuff might come up. I've just, I'm kind of spacey tonight. So I love you. I call this good. I call this time good. And I'm just so grateful. I love you. Night, night. Here we go. Play, pray, slay. In the dark, gonna make good today. In the dark, gonna create, elevate, celebrate, and love. I'm Amy from the GOG, Garden of Good Creativity. We get free, be me, work it effortlessly. Do what you love and then allow the prosperity. You got this. Make good, make it your own. You know you got the power in your mind, heart, body, and soul.